Welcome to the ESR Academy from Suzuka West. This is the 5th round in the 12-round Academy Series, semester number 3. And we have 13 cars today, and with me on commentary is Academy coach, former Zero Racing champion, Paul Riccobene.
Heyo, what up, Paul?
And Paul's been with us before, so I don't think we need to go too deep into your qualifications on the map.
I'm an average driver, just having some fun.
You're in the upper end, let's be real here. Okay, so we've got Jack Simpson on pole position right now, followed by Elliot Barron. Didn't know Elliot was in the UK, so learn something new every day. Rochelle Guerin in 3rd place. Then it's the Swedes, Gustav Ekstrom, and the recently ballasted Zach Hemstrom. He requested ballast for this race. Ballsy.
Javier, that might be the first ESR member I've ever heard doing that.
Indeed. Javier Perez-Torres, Dimitri Simeonidis, Liam Curtin, Scott Greenfield, Daniel Hernandez, James Butler, and AJ Jesse have posted lap times. We do not have a lap yet from Douglas DeGroat, so he is the man you do not see on the leaderboard there. So what are you expecting from the Academy drivers here and the course in general, Paul?
For the last couple...
Javi just went P3.
Last few races I've watched, I've seen some really good stuff from the Academy this season, so I'm expecting another great, 3 races. There's been some clean driving, a couple of people showing a ton of speed up here, so hopefully more excitement and more progression from the guys in the back end closer to the front.
Should see a little bit more side by side than the last round, because of course Suzuka East is I would say probably the least overtaking opportunities of any track that we go to. And this one should have a little bit more. There's a couple more braking sections that you can outbrake opponents. Some really good overtaking zones are the turn 2-3 shortcut and also the hairpin. And I think you can also get some things done in Spoon Curve as well.
It should be exciting to see. I know the last one I watched, it was one opportunity basically through the whole track.
Yeah, more or less. It was just that last... Well, it was like turn 1 and last turn. Like, that was the entirety of the opportunities. Javier Perez-Torres currently on a path for pole here. 2 purple sectors. Liam Curtin just went 2nd quickest, so things changing up there. Gustav Ekstrom popping to the top 5 as well. And here comes across the line. Do we have an improved time? We do! Javi Perez-Torres to the front row, but couldn't quite snatch pole from Jack Simpson.
Still front row, nice. See, that's what always confuses me with Javi. I know he's fast. It's just half the race he's fast.
Like everyone in the Academy, there's often some unique problems with every driver. And I had the whole speech to the Academy, actually, because we did have some problems after this race. So slight spoiler, there will be some action. Where it does have to be pointed out, like every Academy driver is battling with something that makes them an Academy driver, and it's not always a lack of speed. It can be many things. And with Javi, I think it's just mental toughness, that ability to stick it out. And I had the words with him after the 3D speed race, because he was like kind of bemoaning that Mike Stockmill squeezed him, and then we all saw the replay and we're like, he's not squeezing you at all. And it was kind of the same thing at Hockenheim, where he accused me of squeezing him, but on the replay I'm like, I don't squeeze you at all. So it's like he has like an oversensitive personal space bubble that we need to...
Possible. I wonder if it could be field of view settings, monitor size, just set up, and maybe he just can't see enough track.
I didn't even think of that. Perhaps we should look into his FOV. I have an FOV calculator. I should look him up and
it's possible that he can't see anything outside of the A-pillars, which would definitely be throwing you off for side-by-side racing.
Could be. That could be something to look at. Zach Hemstrom down in 9th place, so that ballast really limiting him. Although it should be mentioned, Gustav Ekstrom has the same ballast and is up in 5th place, but has had more time to acclimate to it. Looks like Douglas DeGroat won't get a lap time, so he'll have to start from the back of the pack. So
I see James Butler back there too. Did he still has the 100
He still has the ballast,
right?
Yeah.
How much is Ekstrom carrying?
They're all carrying 100 kilo.
Okay, so all 3 of them are 100. Nice.
So it's the same. Ekstrom's been able to battle through that really well. Mind you, Gustav is admittedly a guy who we kind of let compete in the academy because our other series don't really suit his schedule too much. So, to a degree, it's getting him in. But you know what? We've also seen some flaws in his racecraft and so on that can be worked on. So I'm happy he's in the academy, and we can work on making him an even better driver because he has the makings of a very solid one.
Anytime on the track, racing others is going to help you improve, right?
Absolutely. Here we are in the chintzy second pit lane of Suzuka.
Yeah, that's very lame.
Well, I mean, it's not the main pit lane, obviously, because the main pit lane is not part of this west course layout. It's on the east course. So, who's your person to watch for this race? Anyone you think looks like they're a little out of place? Might have a charge in them?
I need the standings to pop up here. Our positions. I'd love to see Javi do something from the second row. Ekstrom in fifth. He's still in attack position right there. So
here we go.
A serious contender for me.
We are off. Elliot Barron, not a very good start there. And he's being kind of swallowed up by the pack there, led by Gustav Ekstrom. Rochelle Guerin also in that mix as well. And Liam Curtin has gotten past Javi, so Javi down to third place. Ekstrom a little bit wide, but a good start. And looking to go down the inside here into turn 2. And did not get to make a move there. A little sloppiness in turn 2. Saw a little bit of argy-bargy in the back there, but nothing. Oh! Someone sideways.
Back there.
Demetrius Simeonitis, I believe, getting sideways there. I can give away that he just kind of lost the car. There wasn't really much to that, to be honest.
Cold tires, maybe?
Cold tires. He was also forced a little bit wide by somebody going down the inside, so a little bit of a tap there between Gustav
That was
and
an
Javi.
awfully hopeful move.
Yeah. We'll let that one slide because Javi maintains position, but...
Yeah, that was... we'll just leave it at that.
Douglas DeGroot with a really good start. He's up from 13th to 9th. So, on a chart. Oh, Elliot Barron! Oh, Elliot!
That's going to slow him down.
That ended his race. He lost a wheel. So, that takes him out of 5th place. So, top 5, Jack Simpson, Liam Curtin, Javi Perez-Torres, Gustav
Was there
Ekstrom, and
contact
Rochelle
there, or just...
No, he just, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a connection lag, could be a hardware problem, but if it was real life, I would say that, like, he just kind of completely misgauged the turn and ended up going straight on. But since this is sim racing, we'll probably say there was probably something more complex.
Yeah, it looked like he just was a tad wide, touched the grass and lost control, but I just wasn't sure if he was bumped off or not.
He was not. There was no contact. So Zach
Simpson's
Hemstrom
doing a good job out front. He's just doing what he needs to do up there.
Yeah, he's done pretty well also in the ACC series, so he's doing quite well. He's leaving everyone kind of for dead. He'll be in for some ballast come the switchback second half of the season for sure. We have Zach Hemstrom still on the tail. Very wide from Rochelle Guerin. Hemstrom up the inside. Can he make it stick? No, she held it.
I'm surprised she kept that position.
Indeed, I'm a little bit surprised as well. But makes it work.
So how's Rochelle looking this season? I know early on... somebody...
Oh, that wide. Was James Butler. Getting a little bit wide there.
Just trying to get rid of some of that 100 kilograms, I think.
May have lost a little bit of the car, yeah.
So Rochelle was looking strong early on in the season. How's the rest of her season going?
I mean, she's been in second place, but she's quite a ways behind Zach Hemstrom, who's been kind of in a land of his own, which is probably why he's elected to take that 100 kilos of ballast. That was probably coming anyways, but taking it early. She's done well. Can't say much complaint, although I don't know. She's been on the pace, kind of like top 4 pace in pretty much every round except for maybe Zandvoort, and it's been pretty good. She's made some mistakes with going for gaps that were good at close and not necessarily being the most patient with attempting to make overtakes. So as we said, everyone's got their own little bit of things to try to correct and try to become better at.
Yep, it is the Academy.
Mm-hmm. It's in the title of the series.
And Zandvoort is a tough circuit. You either get it or you don't get Zandvoort.
Mm-hmm. So So we've lost Elliott Barron at this point with the headbutt in the wall, and James Butler is quite a ways off the pack of everyone after his contact, so kind of limiting us to 11 cars a little bit effectively, although AJ Jesse and Daniel Hernandez in 10th and 11th are kind of off the pace. I've noticed that the timing gaps, while not fixed, have been a lot better since the update to the spectator has come in. So...
Oh, yeah, it looks relatively accurate.
We'll call it progress, I guess.
It's a lot closer, that's for sure.
Javier on the tail of Liam Curtin. So, after originally pulling really far ahead, Jack Simpson's more or less being held at this range by Javi and Liam. That could also be him just not pushing fully at this point with the lead he has. So, tough call on the matter of what championship battle continues on in 5th place between Rochelle Guerin and Zach Hemstrom, and Douglas DeGroat's catching up to them.
Two interesting battles going here, for sure. I mean, Rochelle and Hemstrom, that's been since the start of the season, so I'll be curious to see if he can get by or not. That battle is definitely affecting him, though.
Indeed, definitely showed when he was unable to really bring it in qualifying. This is the first time we've seen him qualify, I think, outside the top 4. So, definitely changed his persuasion. Also, I mean, part of it is we've also picked up a couple of like really promising prospect drivers like Liam Curtin, Jack Simpson, Elliott Barron, who have joined the ranks, and they're quite quick.
And Ball's free, correct?
Correct, yes. It'll just be a matter of them kind of polishing their racecraft a little bit, and then they'll probably will be hearing a lot of them in the main series in the coming times.
Good. More great drivers out there. It's awesome.
So Javi has dropped a little bit off the back end of Liam Curtin. Rochelle's still being hampered by Hemstrom, who's within a second of her, and within a second of him is Douglas DeGroat.
He's closed the gap a lot. He's right into this.
Douglas from P13 on the grid to P7 in the race. So never let a bad qualifying ruin your race, because you absolutely can make things happen. James Butler may be retired. That 2 laps down suggests something definitely is going on, if that's accurate. Could also
maybe
be
a second off. Could
also be that he's could have made a pit stop to try to fix some of the car.
Oh yeah, possible.
It's a 15-minute race, so not generally something you want to make a pit stop in. But
I never pit stop. I just keep driving the car.
That's because you run out of gas like a
One
noob.
time.
Like a noob.
And I always make fun of people who run out of gas. Like, why would you be so silly?
That was Gustav Ekstrom at the side of the road there, had a spin. So he drops from 4th down to 8th. Wonder what happened there. He's kind of on his own, so I can't really imagine anyone hit him.
Yeah, he might have clipped the inside curb through that section. You can definitely lose the car if you cut that a little too early.
So he's dropped down to 8th place, and that's promoted Guerin, Hemstrom, DeGroot, and Simeonitis. Oops, Simeonitis getting very wide in the background.
Very wide back there.
So Rochelle Guerin is the cork in the bottle with Zach Hemstrom and... Oh, Douglas! Was just about to say he was stuck behind Rochelle and mistakes were made.
And it looks like he was looking for a way through, and I think he just lost concentration.
That turn 3 is deceptively difficult on traction, to be honest. It doesn't really look like much, but it definitely can catch you out. I think actually that's probably the best way of catching someone out, is like a deceptively easy-looking turn, and then it's just like, oh no, this is actually... There is much more to this than meets the eye.
It is. And this BMW it's an odd car for me, because I know a lot of guys will run zero traction control with very little, and I find that I can run little until the moment where I can't, and I can't save the car. So it's a little tricky in that way.
Indeed, it does have somewhat of a lack of recoverability, I suppose. It's a way.
Yeah, it's like you're good, and then you're just done.
I mean, you certainly can recover it, but yeah, you have to be real quick on the correction. And in the meantime, it's still Simpson, Curtin, and Torres out front. much going there. Rochelle Guerin still fighting with Hemstrom for 4th place, and then it's Simeonitis, Ekstrom, de Groot.
I was just about to say Javi's running a solid race, and there he goes.
I believe that was where Javi's game decided to crash, actually.
I take it back, Javi.
Because he did send me a screenshot of the game crash, and that's why we will not see him in race 2 or 3. So this is 2 rounds in a row where Javi is going to score 0 points.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
His championship run, I think, is not over. I mean, we got more than half the season to go, so everybody is, by definition, still in it. But it is getting harder for the Mexican-American at this point.
Yeah, it's just frustrating, too. You put the time aside, you show up, you put the qualifying in, and then that happens, you know?
Indeed. Indeed it is. His car is still being shown, so I don't know if that was where the crash was or if it came afterwards, but he is dropping like a... There we go. There's the crash. So that promotes Rochelle Guerin to the podium and Zach Hemstrom to 4th place. Guerin's got a little bit of breathing room there, about a second, but not too much. I know she was struggling for outright pace here at this track, but I do believe Rochelle always has somewhat of an advantage in terms of not overdriving the car. I think that's one thing she's actually quite good at, and that means that you usually will get pretty consistent lap times from her.
Yeah, she's good at staying within her limits, and she's tough to pass as well, without being an overly defensive driver.
Well, she is my protege of defensive driving, of course.
She does what she needs to do to make it. You really need to work to get through.
Mm-hmm. It looks like this section Hemstrom closes up on her. So if he has a chance, I think it'll be through the Degnas, probably, because it looks like she kind of stretches that out through Spoon and so on. So it looks like the Hemstrom's advantage is the first half of the lap, and the second half goes to Rochelle. Ekstrom putting the pressure on Demetrius Simeonitis. He's having a pretty good round after a pretty unimpressive run at Suzuka East, so good to see the Greek driver up there. It's good to have another Greek in the field. Joining, of course, the legend himself, Federico Zvanger.
The legend. Is he still racing?
He's still around, but obviously with the time differential and so on, it does make it difficult for him to attend ESR races.
Ekstrom's going to go for it here. He's dying to get by.
He is dying to get by. We know Ekstrom's got pace. He was up in 4th place at one point before we didn't see what happened, but we assume he made a mistake through Spoon. And we'll go to 130R there. Speaking of mistake, Douglas de Groot right behind them. We know he's a danger man. Looking to the inside. Oh, Demetrius. I think Demetrius just got kind of bullied into a mistake there, and he'll lose both spots.
Yeah. Oh, I think he goes off track.
No, Demetrius.
I'll say he let Hemstrom get into his head right there.
Hemstrom is very on to Rochelle here, and we're heading to the hairpin, which is a great overtaking opportunity, but not if you can't get an overlap into the braking zone. And Hemstrom has nothing to do there. So we'll see what's going on. Daniel Hernandez, I just have to point out, bad pace today, down in 9th place. You expect to see him a little bit higher in the pecking order.
Yeah, he was up top 5, I think, when he first raced with us, wasn't he?
Not the first time around. He was a little bit mistake-prone for his first 2 rounds, but Suzuka East looked like he was really coming into his own, and I guess the West Coast not gelling with him quite as well. Because not only is he in 9th place, but he's about 20 seconds behind Scott Greenfield based on the data we have. So, not particularly with pace, although it looks like Greenfield may be in a battle with Simeonitis that might close that gap up a little bit. But Douglas de Groot, Gustav Ekstrom, 2 guys who are a little bit out of position. Oh, Rochelle's got a pretty good cushion now to Hemstrom. Wonder what happened there. Hemstrom maybe had a failed attack.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Through Spoon, perhaps?
The Groot's looking really good. He's got some nice lines right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, Douglas always looks good. I think Douglas is
a little rough.
No, not so much there, yeah. Douglas's problem, I think, is not the same as Javi's, but a similar issue where it doesn't take much to unsettle him. And I think that's where the major step for him would be, is just to race calmly, to keep the red mist from rearing its ugly head.
I don't know if this is a good tip for Academy drivers. You're probably going to yell at me for saying this, but one thing that I've done is I unbinded my look back button, as well as disabled my what do they call that? The rear in cockpit rear view mirror.
Oh, the mirror.
I find it forces me to look backwards too much.
I'm kind of mixed on that, because I think you want the mirror because you want to know when somebody's coming. But it does make sense for, Gustav!
Well, that was hairy, guys.
So that, I believe, was where Gustav picked up a penalty for blocking with multiple line changes. By the way, we're coming towards the end here. This is the last lap. And there's the Yep, that was the blocking penalty earlier, and Douglas punts him kind of in retaliation. Tier 2s for both guys.
The retaliation's not warranted, but the blocking penalty certainly is. You can't go that many times back and forth.
Indeed. I think there was like 2 or 3 direction changes. Just can't do that. I mean, the simplest thing I always have said is that if you're allowed to do that kind of thing, how would anyone ever pass?
Oh yeah, just zigzag down the track.
Yeah. So Rochelle Garen's still fighting for the 3rd place here. No positions lost for De Groot and Ekstrom, by the way. Although De Groot's actually overtaken Ekstrom. But they had enough of a cushion back to Simeonitis that they don't have a problem. So, Rochelle's still holding off the ballasted Zach Hemstrom. Gotta wonder how much of that is the ballast and how much of that is her generally, as we were talking about, good defensive driving.
It could be 50-50. I mean, we saw with this qualifying, the ballast is affecting them. She's definitely running good, strong lines, slightly defensive, but not so defensive. I think she's going to hold them off. Or it's over already, right?
It is over already.
Yeah.
Jack Simpson has taken his 2nd victory in the Academy ahead of Liam Curtin.
Congrats, Jack.
Rochelle, Zach, Douglas, Gustav, and Demetrius Simeonitis, all with pretty strong outings. Scott Greenfield down in 8th place. Your boy.
Yes, good.
The Black Sheep Academy driver.
That's
and
right.
Here is Daniel Hernandez. Yeah, looks like Daniel did catch up towards the end. Fastest lap of a 26.3, though. That is not particularly impressive.
He's just getting himself ready for a good position in race 2 on the grid. He's smart.
True. That's true. AJ Jesse, maybe this would explain the lack of pace from him. No front end.
That's going to have an effect on the car.
Indeed. He'll start from pole in race 2, though, so a chance to cash it. Oh, come on, get it!
You know that thing won't turn right now.
No, not at all. As with the whole mirrors and look back, I think there's some merit in it. Certainly, there are a lot of drivers who get kind of just obsessed with driving in their mirrors, and that definitely doesn't work out to their advantage.
So when I say I don't have I can't think what it's called. The car mirror is there, but not the
virtual mirror.
Thank you. The virtual mirror I turn off because it's directly in your line of sight, and it makes you want to constantly stare behind you. That I turned off.
I could definitely see that as an advantage.
That said, I'm in VR. I have access to my side mirrors. You know what I mean? So it's a little different. But I'm doing everything in my power these days to stop looking backwards.
I mean, if you find yourself driving in your mirrors too much, then that might definitely be something to try out. Because certainly driving in your mirrors is a bad thing. I've said this repetitively when people ask me how am I so good at defending. I mean, the truth of the matter is I'm really not defending. I'm just taking the racing line, and it's remarkably effective to just deny people the racing line.
It truly is. That's why I always say people are going defensive too early. You know, as soon as somebody's within 2 seconds, you start seeing them run inside lines. It's like, no. Just try as fast as you can. Do it.
I mean, there's definitely a time where you got to slam that door shut. You got to do some defensive lines. But yeah, committing to a defensive posture too early is probably one of the most common mistakes we see in sim racing.
And then you only get more frustrated when you get passed around the outside. It's like, oh, man.
Indeed. So I'm looking at Demetrius Simeonitis here, starting from 4th place. If he can get a good start, he might be in for a good result because he's got some pace. And if he can get these 3 cars ahead of him, behind him, and make the others work, it might be a good chance for him. AJ Jesse with the lead to the first corner. Daniel Hernandez with a bit of a bad start. Scott Greenfield losing a spot there to Simeonitis. Ekstrom's in the mix there. Hemstrom, DeGroot, Curtin, Garin, Simpson, Butler. By the way, we lost both Elliot Barron and Javier Perez Torres, which we had noted before.
That went better than I thought right there, that section. There goes Douglas.
There goes Douglas. I don't recall 100% what happened there. Zach Hemstrom up to 6th place. He's got fellow
I would
sweet
like to point
Gustav
out, though, that for Academy, again, there was, 11 cars going into that corner right there in a very tight fashion, and everybody did a great job of just not piling up. That was good to see.
Mm-hmm. We didn't pick easy tracks to survive as well. Granted, our picks were kind of made for us. These are just the starter pack tracks. But as it worked out, we've seen, of course, with the Zandvoort National layout, the Hockenheim National layout, you have those shortcut chicanes, which are really difficult. This is a similar thing here. So these are by far not easy tracks to drive cleanly. And there have been some pretty damn impressive performances. So
yeah, everyone that I've been involved in, I've seen some really great driving, and I just love seeing, at the start of the race, the fact that it's not just a pile up anymore. That shows a lot.
Indeed. Daniel Hernandez looking for a run here on AJ Jesse into 130R. You can overtake through this turn, but it's not prime.
I've tried it on multiple occasions, and I've never succeeded.
It's really just a game of chicken, to be honest.
Exactly.
Meantime, something happened with Dimitris Simeonitis, because he was up in 3rd. Now he's behind Greenfield and Ekstrom. Didn't catch what happened, though. So he's back to 5th, and Greenfield and Ekstrom going side by side. Ekstrom, we know, is a little bit out of place here. He's got a little bit more pace than the cars around him. A couple of guys hopped the curb there, not too bad. Which you can do. In fairness, the Degner curves are ones that often get taken in real racing. Everyone is still very close together.
I was just going to say, you got 12 and a half minutes to go. Everybody's still in a chance to win this race.
Demetrius Simeonitis down the inside of Scott Greenfield. He got a little bit closer than I'd like to see to Ekstrom's bumper there.
I think Scott just jumped around.
Scott. I think Zach Hemstrom might have caught him in the rear. I recall from the stewarding video, I believe the problem was already there. Greenfield was starting to lose the car. And Zach kind of more
helped him along.
Finished him off.
That's unfortunate.
Liam Curtin, who's up to 6th.
Taking one of my black sheep
Jackson.
boys out. I'm going to get back at him now.
Indeed. Liam Curtin on the inside. So maybe Liam Curtin going to try and play a game of chicken into 130R with Zach Hemstrom. That could be interesting. I don't see that working, though.
The worst part about attempting a pass here that isn't going to make it is you both lose so much time that you're giving everybody behind you about a 2-second gap closer. Admittedly,
as long as AJ Jesse's out front, though, I wonder if it's definitely worth the risk, because I think the grid is... Oh, no! Hernandez! A little touch there with AJ Jesse.
And the cars are fragile.
Well, I wouldn't say that. These are actually fairly robust cars.
No, I mean, it didn't seem like that was a hard bump to spin them off like that.
Yeah.
But
well, like I said, that was in that turn 3 we were talking about before, the really deceptively difficult turn.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the case there. Is for whatever reason, the car seems very off balance through there, and I can't really put a reason on it. Liam Curtin down the inside of Hairpin into 3rd place there, getting past Demetrius Simeonitis. And it looks like Curtin did, in fact, get past Hemstrom through 130R. Be interesting to go back and take a look at that. And Hemstrom is in trouble with Garin and Butler. And Simpson all in the mix there behind him. Oh, and there he goes, Hemstrom! Off the track. So, AJ Jesse, by the way, losing the lead to Gustav Ekstrom as he got a little bit wide out of Spoon there. So what happened there was Jack Simpson kind of saw an opportunity between Rochelle Garin and Hemstrom, and he made it a 3 wide through the first part of Spoon, and I'm not sure that there are cars that will survive 3 wide through the first half of Spoon. And needless to say, Hemstrom was the one that ended up paying the price on that one.
That's some imaginative thinking. 3 wide through there.
Some opportunistic thinking.
Yeah, sometimes you got to know what's not going to work.
Yeah, I think that was not the greatest idea. Didn't punish it too harshly on the stewarding report, but definitely did make a point to say that that was just not a good move on like any level.
There's definitely moments where you see that opening, and the moment you go for it, you're thinking to yourself, uh-oh.
Ooh, AJ Jesse got real wide through the hairpin. We'll see if anyone can attack Simeonitis and Guerin and Butler and Simpson and Hernandez. All through. So, costly mistake from AJ Jesse there. Back to 8th place. Ekstrom is in the lead from Curtin, Simeonitis, Guerin, Butler, Simpson, Hernandez, Jesse, and then DeGroot is way off the back end, and I'm not sure why. Hemstrom's very far off, but that would, I believe he sustained damage and is actually in the pit lane right now, fixing the car, if I recall correctly, and Scott Greenfield appears to be out of the race. Scott debooked himself from the Academy, by the way, unfortunately, just the time zone just not working for him. Which is a shame. We really like Scott, but the timing is going to be difficult to work around.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy, but I mean, he races, it's like
Liam Curtin,
4 a.m. or something.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous. Liam Curtin and Ekstrom there. Looks like maybe Curtin had gotten the lead, but now he's about a second and a half back. So I wonder if there was a little bit of contact between them. I
saw him dive up the inside on the brakes, and it looked clean, but I guess he must not have been able to turn it around.
Might have been a bit of a shut to the door on the way out, perhaps. Could be. Anyways, Simeonitis is a little bit of the cork in the bottle now. He's got Guerin, Butler, and Simpson all behind him, along with Hernandez. And we know Guerin is pretty quick. We know that Jack Simpson, of course, is very quick. And James Butler is never a guy you want on your tail. We'll put it that way.
Not for sure. It's a good race. That battle up front is very interesting.
See Hemstrom moving in the background, so he's out of the pits. Simpson looking for a move on James Butler through Spoon. I don't think that there's going to be anything there for him. But he does get nice and close, so just a minor mistake by Butler could open the door. Rochelle Guerin on the tail of Demetrius Simeonitis. If I'm saying that name wrong, please let me know. I think that's correct. But,
doesn't look like these cars are catching much of a draft from each other, are they?
No, not really. They're fair. They're not very. They're not really very draftable. Something happened with Jack Simpson. He's back in 8th place now. He was previously right on the tail of Butler and is just gone now. So I don't know what happened there. I can't recall anything from the stewarding report that would account for that. So Guerin, that is not an overtaking position. Looks like just someone having some ping difficulties. Hernandez, much better race this time around, although you think with that second on the grid he might have done better. I should note, Daniel Hernandez in both the first and second race got just terrible starts, and I wonder if he just needs to kind of practice that, and some things might come together.
Yeah.
Just off of fixing.
First gear, full throttle.
Pretty much. These are not hard cars to launch, so it's a little bit. It's
traction
a little bit
control
odd.
Setting would be the only thing that really should affect you. Curtin's fast. He's closed this gap right up.
Oh, of course, Liam Curtin is very quick, and I'm intrigued to see what he can do in the main series. To be honest, he is, of course, Snowman on Discord. Well, he's from Ireland. There's no way he has snow. I feel like this name is misleading. Heading into the turn 2, turn 3 section, which has been pretty much the most difficult section, actually, for the drivers. So, there's Simeonitis a bit wide. Looks like Rochelle was taking a little sniff, but couldn't get anything done. Be interesting to see what Rochelle can do now that she's not under pressure from Hemstrom.
It looks like she just went wide there. Yep.
Still there. But
yeah, she lost a little bit of time for sure, though.
And is falling back into the clutches of James Butler. So, Rochelle, find the gas pedal. Go, go, go. Here's, of course,
looks like
James.
Curtin fell off Ekstrom again. The second and a half now. He was about just a half a second, I think.
Another failed overtaking attempt, perhaps?
I wonder. A little off track, maybe?
The Academy veteran, James Butler, in 5th place. Demetrius Simeonitis, newcomer, made a debut in the Enduro last month. And joined up with the Academy after that.
Nice. What's he driving in the... Oh, not the multi-class, the Enduro.
One of the multi-class Enduro is the one I'm talking about. Yeah,
is he a GT4?
He's a GT4 driver, yeah. I think he's driving a Porsche, but I could be mistaken on that. An older Porsche, I do believe. There's a bit of a bizarre one there, actually, in the multi-class, with the older Porsche being the more popular pick than the new Porsche.
I think I heard people saying that the older Cayman was actually faster.
So I have heard.
I haven't actually tested them.
As they are Porsches, didn't really much care for either of them, but...
I'm a Cayman guy, I love them.
But I am an anti-Porsche guy.
No!
Just doesn't suit my driving style. It's just all... Got no hate for the Porsche brand. And, Liam getting a little shape.
I'm dying to drive the new 911 in one of the series, but it's just so popular right now, I don't want to do it.
Oh, that's being a little silly.
Well, that's how I live life.
Rochelle has once again got some breathing room back to Butler and is closing in on Simeonitis. Can she get the job done this time is the question.
This line through there, she's really pushing the limits of that one. Looks good. She just closed up a lot of time there.
If I recall correctly from the qualifying, her 3rd sector was actually amongst the fastest. So she is quite quick through Spoon.
There's so much time they made through that one corner right there.
It's just I think her 1st sector was really the problem. I think Sector 2 and Sector 3 she was doing quite well. Just Sector 1, not terribly quick. As Ekstrom being closed down again by Curtin. So Curtin is definitely the faster driver. But he's gotten close a couple of times and then just failed to make anything really happen. And then fallen back. So we'll see if
he's running out of time. He's gonna have to make something stick.
Indeed, we got probably 3 laps at a guess remaining.
2 to 3 for sure.
We're
right?
kind of nearing the end of this lap here, so I think we'll get 3. Michelle Guerin still on the tail of Demetrius Simeonitis. Demetrius doing quite well. Not driving in his mirrors too, which is nice because he seems to be maintaining a normal line through everywhere, which is good. Which we talked about before, of course. Driving in your mirrors is a common problem. So weird seeing Zach Hemstrom down a lap.
That is definitely not the norm, right? It's going to take some time to adjust to that ballast. I mean, I can tell you.
Well, I mean...
I don't know how Stop Mill does it, but there's days where I'm just, like, cursing the ballast system.
Well, I mean, Stop Mill's always got the advantage of being the only diamond driver in ESR, and that definitely helps out when you're a whole class above the next fastest guy.
I was going to say, what's above diamond? Because we're going to move him up one more time.
We need some other diamonds before we need that. I already made up a class. There is no diamond class in the FIA rankings. I had to make it up.
It's a shame he's such a nice guy.
Hey, he's very helpful. He's been helpful to me. He's been giving Rochelle a lot of pointers too.
Oh, he helped me out. I love the guy. He's awesome.
All you got to do is be open to ideas, and I think he's more than happy to help out. So that's good. It should be mentioned Hemstrom is going to be starting on pole for race 3, though.
Yeah, and it'll be the first time that I would not pick Hemstrom to win from pole.
You think someone else has got it? Douglas DeGroot and AJ Jesse fighting over 8th place. We've not seen DeGroot in a while, and he's behind AJ Jesse now, so it's been a bit of a race to forget for him. Although nice high starting position for race 3, maybe he can make it. That's been kind of Douglas's thing, actually. He'll get one of the later races. He'll get like a good reverse grid position and just blow the competition away. That's how he's gotten both of his wins this season. So it'll be interesting to see if we get him and Hemstrom on the front row.
It is a system. I think Hemstrom's going to struggle right off the start with the ballast. And then his pace is just, I don't think he has enough.
I don't know about that because Hemstrom's been very good off the line all season long. I don't know if it's a launch thing or just like he has that Michael Schumacher-esque vision for traffic. Because I know there have been times where I've gotten a perfectly good start. Like I'm rolling down to turn 1, right? And it's like, oh, I'm going to pick up a couple of places. And then you just find yourself boxed in or something. You just didn't read the flow of traffic properly. And Hemstrom is very good at that, I must say.
No, it'll be interesting. I keep myself in the dark with the results, so if I do commentary, it's all an interesting
it's great.
surprise.
That's why I like that. That's why I always want a co-commentator, because being the steward and the recorder of these races, I kind of know what happens. I can't be really
a little
surprised.
Inside info, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I can be surprised. I don't watch everyone the whole way. So I mean, obviously there are things I don't note, and that can be surprising. But Gustav Ekstrom's going to take race number 2 here. And Liam Curtin and Simeonitis held off Guerin all the way. She got to 3/10 at the end, but unable to find her way onto a second podium.
Good
James Butler
driving from Simeonitis.
James Butler with a nice solid 5th place result ahead of Daniel Hernandez. Jack Simpson into a surprising 7th. I thought he'd be higher. And that does mean that here for... Oh! Douglas!
One way to get by.
That's a bump pass. Took out AJ Jesse. That did incur a Tier 2 penalty as well. It's a bad day for Douglas. He picked up 15 license points worth of penalties.
That's not ideal.
He'd previously been clean, so just I think to be honest, like he was of course the one that I had words with in terms of being a little bit frustrated. I think the red mist just had completely clouded his mind. And
hey, it happens.
It does happen. It does happen. So hopefully he can come back strong at Laguna Seca.
Yeah, I mean, when you're doing 3 races like this, it's I'll let you clean this up real quick.
Gustav Ekstrom, Liam Curtin, Simeonitis, Guerin, Butler, Hernandez, Simpson, DeGroot, Jesse, and Hemstrom. Your top 10. Reverse that for the final race. We have lost Scott Greenfield at this point. He, as we said, booked out of the Academy, so he's will not be partaking. So we're down to 10 cars for the final race of the day. Who you got in this one, Paul?
Ooh, look at DeGroot right there on the front row. Or no, he's not the front row. There's somebody who hasn't shown up yet, isn't there? Where's he at? Is he top 4?
Hemstrom and Jesse will be the front row.
I'm going with Douglas.
Will be 3rd. So we're going with Douglas.
I think if he can...
I don't know, man. I gotta look at Jack Simpson starting on row 2 and like those odds.
I didn't realize that was Simpson over there to his left.
And I'm saying that without spoilers, because I was thinking that when this grid was taking shape.
Well, I'm going to stick with Douglas because I said it. I think if he can get through clean, I think he might be able to give Jack some at least a fight.
Here we go. AJ Jesse's the one kind of out of place here, probably the slowest driver. We'll see if we'll see how he can manage to handle the situation. Liam Curtin moving around in the background as we go through 130R for the first time. And oh god, that was James Butler taking some people out. And AJ Jesse cutting the track pretty badly there, but ends up off the track.
What just happened?
Simeonitis got into a tangle with someone. I don't remember whom. I think it was Liam Curtin. And contact there.
Curtin's hood's all jacked.
Yeah. Well, he got... The jacked hood is from Butler hitting him. And that turned out to just be a racing incident. Butler got pushed a little bit onto the grass. Nothing too bad. Just lost the car. And that was kind of all she wrote for his race.
I just gave you guys so much credit, too.
I mean, it happens. It happens.
It does. But come on, I just said how good it was.
Hemstrom out in front from Hernandez. Hernandez is up in a second. Head of DeGroot, Simpson, Guerin, Ekstrom, Curtin, Jesse, Butler, and Simeonitis. Well, not your top 10, because that's the entire field. We're down to 10 cars. Where did Hernandez start? And how has he gotten up into second place?
Just avoiding the chaos, I guess, right?
Yes, yeah. And we were talking about how his starts were not very good.
Yeah, there you go.
So
well,
looks like he's figured it out
quickly.
All right, well, the longer he holds up everyone else, the better it is for Zach Hemstrom, championship leader, to extend his race winning streak as he's looking for win number 6.
Oh, Douglas got in too tight, and then Simpson tapped him, and it's over for him.
So Douglas to the back of the pack, probably seeing a lot of red right now, if we're being honest.
If I could point out one thing I'm seeing from the group, and Simpson right there as well, when you're that close in traffic and you're not attempting a pass, don't brake so late that you run into the guy's bumper. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think Simpson there got in the back of Hernandez. I think that was more Hernandez getting a little bit wide and digging
No, before that, I saw the group tapping
Liam
back of Hernandez.
Tapping the back of Ekstrom. Nothing came of it, but a little bit of physical contact. I mean, these cars can take a little bumping. They're robust, but it's not NASCAR.
Right. So where I'm heading here, though, is if you're braking so hard and so deep that you're into the guy's bumper in front of you, you've lost the exit, right?
Absolutely.
There's no point in driving that close to somebody's rear if you can't make the pass.
Indeed. You want to pick and choose your moments.
Exactly. So I think a lot of the contact that is causing these little bumps and spins could be avoided if you guys think forward a little bit. You want to set yourself up for the exit.
Absolutely.
That's Curtin's line.
Liam, that's not the track, Liam. Simpson and Guerin shoving a little bit. Looks like Rochelle held her ground there. Actually, a little bit disappointed that Rochelle had a really good pass in race 1, I think it was, around the outside of somebody that was not caught on camera. I saw it in the replay. It's a little bit disappointing that it didn't get caught on camera because I thought it was very nice.
You know, Mike, you could add another 6 hours to your workload and just throw a couple of highlights on top of the...
I could, but at some point I would like to actually drive the track myself.
Oh, you're so lame. How cool would it be to see action replays just popping in and out while we're talking?
It'd be interesting. You know what? I do like that from ACC because ACC does this compilation highlight replay.
Oh, really?
Which is really nice. Yeah, it would make it a lot easier. The only problem with ACC really is from like a YouTube standpoint is the lack of the auto director, unfortunately. Which is weird because the the highlight system indicates they have some kind of AI that can do that. They just don't have that feature, and it really confuses me.
I don't race ACC simply because VR. It just crushes my system.
It is getting better though, from what I've heard.
I hear people say that, and I hear the people who like the game
down the
love
inside.
the game. Yeah, it's a nice move
Shoving Guerin a little bit, but you know what? That's acceptable levels of contact, I'd say.
It was tough, but it was clean.
Indeed, so that takes him onto the podium ahead of Rochelle. And Ekstrom and Curtin behind Rochelle now. Butler, Simeonitis, Jesse. Looks like we've lost a Groot. Unless he's just been in the pits or something, because he's 2 laps down. So I think we have dropped to 9 cars. Oh, Ekstrom going for it! Oh, that was I don't know. Would you? I'd say that's so opportunistic.
Yeah, that's the second time he's tried that exact move, and the second time's had the same result.
Yeah, the peekaboo hairpin overtake.
Yeah, exactly.
So Hernandez now has Jack Simpson on his tail. Simpson very quick. Liam is keeping up despite that really damaged hood. He's looking for an overtake on Ekstrom. He's got the inside line, and that could translate. And this is where we saw Ekstrom throw down the block in race 1. So hopefully he behaves himself this time. And looks like he did. Through 130R we go. Simpson on the attack. By the way, Hemstrom is gone.
I was just looking at that. It's all gone.
Simpson trying to go around the outside of Hernandez. It can be done, and he does it. So that was kind of actually what Guerin did to him in one of the earlier races. So, learning.
Yeah. Simpson's a couple of good moves through there. I don't think he's got, I don't know if he has 7 seconds in him, though, over 8 minutes.
Yeah, I can't really see that being the case. This field's a little bit too condensed to make that kind of gap up without Hemstrom making a mistake. And Hemstrom is pretty good at driving mistake-free at the front. He's a bit of a risk taker when he's behind people, which as championship leader I think is a little bit unhealthy. But if he's just on his own, I don't see him making a mistake.
Yeah, ooh, just touched the grass. I saw that happening.
Indeed, yeah. Daniel Hernandez spins off, and that will let Rochelle Guerin back up onto the podium ahead of Ekstrom and Curtin. Looks like Butler and Simeonitis will also overtake Hernandez. It's a shame. Daniel Hernandez was having a real good run there, and
He was.
I don't think he really has the pace to really come back from that 8th place, although, hey, mistakes can happen, so opportunities do present themselves.
Yeah, there's no leeway. If you leave the track, it's throwing you around.
Pretty much. You know, I am impressed that no one's ended up on the East course, at least, though. As I was seeing that in practice, a couple people ending up on the the absolute wrong part of the track. Gustav Ekstrom on the tail of Rochelle Guerin here through the Degnas. We are getting to the point where Rochelle gets pretty strong. We said the second half of the lap is kind of hers domain. We'll see if she can pull away from Ekstrom or if he can make it work. I guess Curtin's hood is not that damaged, but I am surprised keeping up.
Yeah, I've driven with worse. He's only got a little crumple in that.
It's true. Still, the aerodynamics on that would have to be severely thrown off.
So you're going to take the aerodynamic from 1 to 0 on this car?
I mean, I guess that's a good point. These are not aerodynamically dependent cars, so it's a fair point, I suppose. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think he's losing any speed on the straight or anything.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was talking about with Rochelle earlier there. She's pulled out a nice little gap to Ekstrom, so she's got the edge through the second half. That means Ekstrom's got to make things happen through the first part, which fortunately, there's a lot of overtaking opportunities in the first half of this lap, so he's got to make him work. But now he's got Curtin to worry about. Despite that damaged front end, Curtin's still very much in the fight here for a podium.
Yeah, I mean, he must have had a really good exit. He actually closed the gap on that straight with that damaged car.
That is James Butler in the background. Still kind of in shot, and Dimitri Simeonez.
Whoa, Simpson down to 4 seconds, and we got 5 minutes to go.
Indeed. 3 seconds made up in what?
3 minutes.
You know, it looks like everyone's kind of closed on Hemstrom, so I wonder, Hemstrom mistake, maybe?
Maybe.
That we're not privy to?
Sub 4 is at 3.9. This could get interesting.
So I was going to say, because this group here, considering they're all fighting for that 3rd place, are keeping relatively up with Simpson. They've only lost about a second, so he's not putting up groundbreaking laps. I gotta assume Hemstrom had a mistake somewhere along the line. Go check out Zach's stream. We may need to find that out. Simeonitis on the tail of Butler. Battle for 6th place. Simeonitis got a podium in race number 2. Not so great this time around, which makes sense. He's profiting off of the high grid spot in race number 2. There he is with Butler heading into 130R. Can he make the move stick? And it looks like he did. Butler is falling back. Battle for 3rd continues. Ekstrom looking to make a move. This is the time he needs to make it. But can't get past Guerin. And note, Guerin thwarting his attempts by just doing nothing.
Yeah, I'm watching Curtin right now because he's being smart. He's just waiting for Ekstrom to go for something, and he's going to slide right on up inside it all.
Problem is I'm just not sure where Ekstrom can go for it. He starts the lap just too far behind Guerin because she's much faster through Spoon.
Man, he got a terrible exit out of the hairpin. Look at Curtin.
Curtin is all over him and going for it now.
He said, screw this, I'm going to do it myself.
Getting a little impatient now, and it looks like he's got the job done. No! He held it!
That was impressive driving from Curtin right there, I gotta be honest.
Holds it and hangs on to 4th place.
Now that he can get a terrible exit because of that, let's see if he can hold it. 2.5 seconds. Simpson, Hemstrom.
Still catching him. So definitely there's got to be a pace differential because, I mean, I'll accept that Hemstrom made one mistake, but two? Come on.
Nah, he's been slowly closing the gap. The problem is he's going to get on his bumper with half a lap left.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Curtin getting a little bit antsy with the defensive. Oh, God! He hung on to it again!
Yeah, I don't know how. Simpson's backwards.
Jack Simpson is backwards. And the quest for victory, it comes to an end. Rochelle Guerin up to second place, Curtin to third, Ekstrom to fourth, Simeonitis, Hernandez. We lost James Butler at some point, by the way. Down to one lap down. So only 8 cars left. And one of those is Jack Simpson, who is not moving by the looks of it.
He must have been just driving everything
Curtin
he had.
with a mistake out of the hairpin. He got it 1 lap ago there, but he just gave it right back.
Yeah. He was like at a standstill.
Indeed.
He's looking where this is where Ekstrom's going for it all the time. Oh.
Curtin down the inside, slides wide, both slide wide, and Ekstrom will get the spot back, or retain the spot, I should say.
I'm impressed nobody ended up in a wall on that one.
Wow. Not so much wall. The wall's pretty far away from the track there, but could have definitely been a little bit more carnagey, that's for sure. And this is just playing in the hands of Rochelle Guerin, who's just happy to run up in second place. Yeah. You guys do your thing.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, I'm enjoying this battle.
Indeed. Ekstrom down the inside, Curtin around the outside, and it's going to favor Ekstrom. Simeonitis is suddenly becoming a factor in this, by the way.
And Curtin was on the grass. He lost a ton of time, and here's Simeonitis now.
Simeonitis going for it. Looks like we've lost Jack Simpson. He's down a lap now. So, looks like the damage he suffered from the headbutt in the wall may have been terminal.
Yeah. Just like I called at the beginning, Hemstrom's going to win it.
Right. We'll go back and edit the audio to make that the case.
As you're putting in the replays.
Simeonitis now on the tail of Curtin. So Liam Curtin just, the action never stops around our Irish driver, it seems. Time running down. Looks like they'll have one more lap after this. I think Hemstrom's already started the next lap. So one more lap for Liam Curtin to try to make it happen. Or for Demetrius Simeonitis to make it happen. Or for Ekstrom to try and make it happen. All right, any predictions here for the final lap, Mr. Riccobene?
Nah, I don't think anything crazy is going to happen. I think Curtin is just going to hold his position here. I don't think that there's Simeonitis is going to get close enough to make a move.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Daniel Hernandez, AJ Jesse.
That, I wonder if I'm wrong again.
Daniel Hernandez, AJ Jesse still running, but more or less on their own in 6th and 7th place. Doesn't kind of unlikely that anything will happen with those two. In fact, Simeonitis is really the only person close enough to shake a stick at his opponent.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dive bomb if he goes for anything right now.
Ekstrom's closing in pretty well on Guerin. He's on either a really quick lap or she's on a just kind of chill lap, for lack of a better term. Just keeping it on track sort of thing. Liam Curtin has pulled out the gap to Simeonitis, who was briefly there at about 1.5 seconds, but not the greatest run through Spoon Curve. Got a little bit too wide. To the line we go. Hemstrom is your winner from Guerin. Ekstrom, Curtin, Simeonitis, all coming crossing the line together. Daniel Hernandez was looking like we might have had a really good result for Hernandez, but he'll have to content himself with a 6th place finish here. Just kind of made a mistake, it seems. AJ Jesse bringing it home in 7th. I wonder, is AJ's car intact? Because he's been having a real hard time with the whole keeping the car on one piece. It looks healthy.
It looks solid to me.
And there are your final results. Just 7 cars making it to the end.
Wow,
Jack Simpson had the fastest.
Look at that lap.
Yeah, oh my God, 24.4.
No wonder why he was
That's
closing on Hemstrom
1.2
so
second
fast.
faster. That's amazing. It's humongous. And it's not like Hemstrom was slow compared to the rest of the field. I think only two other people outpaced him, and that was Gustav Ekstrom and Demetrius Simeonitis, 25.3. Really looking good, looking great.
Yeah. Hey, you might want to throw 100 kilograms on Simpson just for the fun of it.
I mean, that'll definitely be happening when we get back to Brands Hatch. I've been saying, like, him and Liam Curtin are probably staring at the extra weight, possibly Elliott Barron as well. And probably some relief for James Butler coming, because he has been having a hard time with that 100 kilo ballast. So it's time to maybe loosen it up a little bit for him.
Yeah, it sounds fair. Give the guy a chance, a fighting chance in here.
Quick standings recap after the race and penalties, and there were some significant penalties in this one. Zach Hemstrom leads the way with 246 to Rochelle Guerin's 206. Despite not scoring any points in the land of the rising sun, Javi Perez Torres is still in third place on 127.
Javi.
4 points ahead of James Butler on 123. 100 for Daniel Hernandez. Ekstrom on 97. Ekstrom, by the way, has lost 40 points due to penalties, so it pays to be a clean driver, I gotta say.
Yeah, that's a lot of points.
Liam Curtin on 85, 86 for Jack Simpson, 76 for John Picha, who is no longer racing the Academy. Scheduling conflict, basically. Douglas DeGroat, 53, and the rest. So we're heading off to Laguna Seca next, which Academy guys versus the Kink, the Andretti Hairpin, and the Corkscrew.
I hate Laguna. I don't get the love for it. I hate it. Every corner feels wrong.
I think Laguna is just a track you have to have feel for. It's any track that has like legitimate real life specialists, like Brian Herta,
right?
Max Pappas come to mind as Laguna Seca specialists, are always going to be tracks that you either feel or you don't. Like similar examples would be like Nordschleife, Bathurst, Watkins Glen to a certain degree.
Yep. Agree with
Poe,
all those statements.
Macau.
I feel like I can deal with all those other tracks much better in Laguna. I mean, I'm okay at Laguna, but it's just that I just never feel confident here.
Could be. Anyways, so any final thoughts you want to offer out to the Academy drivers here, Coach Riccobene?
What I just saw was, the braking. Just don't think that closing up in the braking zone to somebody's bumper is going to be the key to the pass. That's the one thing I'm seeing where I think people are getting just little bumps and taps that are throwing others off track and ruining their races. You got to stay clean through there and focus on how to set up for the exit. To me, that I think a few people could actually pick up quite a bit of positions, just because I think they're losing too much time focusing on just the braking zone. If that makes sense.
Get a little bit more foresight to the matter. And,
yeah. I mean, if you know you're not going to go inside and there's no pass to be made, there's no point to be 1 inch from somebody's bumper.
Mm-hmm. I can definitely see that. Be excellent. Something excellent to think about.
You might be able to change your line, you know what I'm saying? Go just a little bit wider, get on a throttle earlier than they can, and catch them before the next corner. That's all I'm saying. You got to think a little bit further through.
Mm-hmm. A little bit the multiple levels to the overtake game.
Right. Yeah, because you're not overtaking if you're just on somebody's rear bumper.
Absolutely. Unless they make a mistake. I mean, which admittedly, it's Academy, so there's probably been more success doing that than in most series. That being said, you should be also still prepping yourself for the main grid as well. So. Yeah. I mean, most of the incidents I'm seeing aren't really particularly horrible driving. It's just, it's little bumps and taps, and it's enough to send somebody else off track. So if there's anything you can do to just avoid that, I think the racing would be great. Absolutely. There you go, from Paul Riccobene, one of our main coaches here in the Academy. Hopefully I can get one of the other coaches to do commentary in the near future. Get Travis or Simeon on here to add a little bit of humanity to the
where's
coaches.
Simeon then?
He's a shy lad.
Come on. Just get out there and talk some junk. People believe you.
Anyways, that is all we got for today. See you guys at Laguna Seca.
Later.